Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Storyteller's Corner. I'm your host, Joshua T. Calkins-Treworgy, also known as Baron Assidious. I yesterday recorded and uploaded a video talking about the whole situation regarding Jeremy Hambley of The Quartering. And I saw something that I have not seen in quite a long time. Views on one of my videos and a great deal of comments in the comment section below the video, for which I am greatly appreciative, and I thank you folks for the time, for the comments, the kind words, the jokes that were in there, the references. Particularly, one of my favorite comments was, he has a legacy. He has 4 kids. He has a faithful wife. I greatly appreciate that, gents and lads. Put a great smile on my face. Deeply appreciated. And a lot of folks would say, hey, you've got some attention, you've got some momentum. Strike while the iron is hot. While I appreciate the kudos and the congratulations and the comments, the effective energy, I know that I also have a responsibility and a duty to inform you folks who have found your way to my channel and to that specific video. I have to be honest with you and let you know I'm not a commentary person. And while I appreciate and accept the subscriptions, I don't want to lead you on or fash you or make you presume that that's going to be the sort of thing to regularly come from me, because it's not. I'm not always the most entertaining fellow when I get on camera. Most times, my preferred method of communication or artistic expression is in the written word. When I showed these books on the video I made yesterday, this is my newest published work, Five and Dime. This is the tale of Tyler Evans, a young convenience store clerk who, well, unfortunately has found himself dead and arriving in hell. And hell is not exactly what he expected it to be. He is not of the damned. He is of the condemned. There is a difference. And in his afterlife, he's going to discover what that difference is. This is my latest work that is currently available on Amazon. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of grifting, just like Ham Planet would. Difference being that this requires you actually be able to read, and apparently he hasn't finished a book in his life, so, gotta be literate, I suppose. But they say, like I said, they say strike while the iron is hot, but that would be taking advantage of you folks. And I don't want to disappoint folks who have stopped in based on I decided to comment on a hot topic of the day because it touched upon something near and dear to me, which is expression, free expression. Specifically for me, in the form of artistic expression and the freedom thereof. The Casino Boys are a comedy program. Comedy is an art form. It is spoken, it is performed physically, oftentimes, with a lot of slapstick and gesticulation. But regardless, it is a form of art. And all art that is of any value deserves its day in the sun. This is a lovely little, neat little, almost family-friendly comic book series that I started picking up from my local comic book shop called Story Arc Comics and Collectibles. Ninja Penguin by Russ Duggar. Got it signed at the book signing he went to, or he didn't attend personally, but he signed some copies, and the guys at the shop set one aside for me. Even though I already own a regular copy, they were like, hey, we know you love this, your son loves this, your daughter loves this. Did you want it? No extra charge for it. A signed copy, and I picked it up. He's an independent artist, an independent comic book guy. I really think that if you want to do something as a favor, you owe me nothing. You gave me the views on the previous video and great commentary. But maybe if someone could get a hold of somebody like Eric July, the Rippaverse, they have all kinds of inroads in distribution. And I think Mr. Russ Duggar, who is a comic artist local to me, I think he deserves a little bit of love and maybe a hand up. Perhaps someone could convince Eric July to reach out to Mr. Duggar. You know who else could use some love? Mr. Herman P. Hunter, the gentleman who wrote this book and has written a couple of follow-up stories, this novella, The Revenant in the Tomb, which I recently did a review of for both my YouTube and Rumble channels. It's a fantastic, grim fantasy tale. The review is on my channel just a couple of videos back, so give that a look through if you are interested in dark fantasy, or fantasy generally speaking. It was a great read. If you are interested in hearing from someone who is genuinely entertaining and thoughtful and can give you a lot of high energy when it comes to socio-political topics, and someone who is also big into the gaming scene, you can do far better than Jeremy Hamplanet. I would recommend, if you're on Rumble, or even if you're not on Rumble, check out Cancel This Podcast with Jace and Alky John, and occasionally the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, Digny. He shows up on that show, as well as having his own program, or his own channel here on YouTube. I would also recommend checking out the other hosts on the network, including Discuss Thing, who he does his own channel panel show for the network, as well as Dash Attack VT, which is short for VTuber. He does the Old White Road network program. And then there's Discuss Thing, who is the primary host for Tangent Kings, operated and organized or orchestrated by the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. They have regularly scheduled programs, panel shows, going over a lot of current events of the socio-political and pop cultural kind of framework. These are great lads and lasses who they have on those shows, and they would definitely be up your alley, I would think, if that's the sort of thing that you're looking into. I would love to be able to sit here and say, well, I can provide all of that programming and all of those talking points for you, but the fact of the matter is I have a duty to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a bookish guy. I talk books, literature of the genre fiction type primarily, and mythology. Love my mythology. Especially my, horror mythology. I've got Lovecraft up there. I've said before, I've got about a quarter of these shelves left to finish reading up. I've got a quarter ring left to read. But I have a duty of care to let you folks know I appreciate the kudos. And I appreciate that, I should probably be using this opportunity to really push my own stuff. But that wouldn't be 100% honest with you. I have a duty and a responsibility to the art of the written word, which is why, I mentioned Herman P. Hunter, showed off my own latest novel. Full name right there, Joshua T, Calkins-Treworgy. If you look me up on Amazon or Google Books, you're going to find most of my other work, including another recent publication, American Goblin, the tale of Crick Solomon, a line cook in Minnesota, whose parents, many of his own countrymen, came from the realms of Chaldea, a fantasy realm that, just look into the book, you'll find out. But I also have a Substack, which I will include in the description below. And on Substack, if you are interested in the written word for entertainment purposes, you can find a plethora of highly talented storytellers who just aren't getting the attention that they so richly deserve. Folks like Jonathan Delp, who writes Stomp Roams. Folks like the Brothers Kryn, who are working to bring back the enchantment of high fantasy. MS Alney, who is also championing a return to noble, integrity-fueled fantasy. High swords and sorcery adventure. The sort of things that they can take their DNA and map it to where we got things like Tolkien from. Arts and entertainment still deserve our patronage if they are worthy of it. We as storytellers, folks like myself and the brothers Kryn, Jonathan Delp, we understand the duty we have to the art, the responsibility we owe to it. And really, the art is more important than I am. It always will be. And it will be here long after I am gone. So will a lot of you. Okay? I can only hope to provide some entertainment until such time as I'm gone. Anyhow, that's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in and for listening. And by the way, there's an entire free audiobook fan fiction story that I did, a story for Castlevania. It's listed on the list of my videos. It was the one I uploaded before this most recent quartering video. The quartering is. Looking at the difference between the number of views on it is really kind of something. Because for Corrupted Shield, a Castlevania fanfiction, there's one view on YouTube. And as of time of recording this, the quartering is marked at 1K. It's a hell of a difference. Maybe give it a listen. You don't have to be watching the screen. Who wants to look at this mug for very long? Anyhow, thanks, folks. I ask that you take care of yourselves. And as always, keep reading.